Hello, welcome to another edition of Capper Comparison Picks. Today I will be giving you the Capper Comparison Picks for a few fights on the UFC Vegas 11 card. That's Covington versus Worthy. I'm going to do two prelim fights and the early main card fights, meaning the bottom of the main card and top of the prelim card. And this is a Kappa comparison. So if you're new to this show, what I do is take the picks from my favorite sports handicappers and I compare them side by side. So it'll help you determine if you're like on the fence. All the cappers are taking so and so. So that'll help you decide your determination on who's going to win these fights. Okay, so let's start out. We're going to start out at the lower end of the prelims and work our way up to these two are main card events. And boy, this is a good one. Anyway, to start off the show, at flyweight, we have Jordan Espinosa taking on David Dvorak. Okay, Jordan Espinosa comes in with a professional fighting record of 15-7. He's the favorite here at minus 115. He's taking on David Dvorak, comes in with a record of 18 wins and 3 losses as a professional fighter. And he's coming in at a minus 105, slight underdog, but they're both at minus numbers. Okay, so this is going to be a close fight. The bookies have the over-under set at 2.5 rounds. If you think it's going to go the distance, you're going to pay a lot of juice because that's what everybody else is thinking. It's at minus 260. Now, if you think it's going to stop short of 2.5 rounds, go under, plus 200. So your $100 would pay back too if you're correct and it does not go to 2.5 rounds. Okay, let's see what these handicappers are taking. I have used all 5 of these handicappers in previous shows, so I don't really have to do that much of a description. Their links will be in my description for this video. Okay, taking Jordan Espinosa from the United Kingdom, we have MMA Guru. MMA Guru, he's the British one with the gray knit cap. Never took his cap off. I have no idea if he even has hair. I think he probably has a little ginger afro, but we will never know because he's got that stupid gray knit hat. Okay. Also taking Jordan Espinosa is James Lynch. James Lynch is the professional, that's what I call him, because he gets paid to do handicapping, and he has debatably the most fighter interviews out of any handicapper that I do. I do have in the main card, I use MMA Fortune Teller, and he gets a lot of interviews too because he happens to live right down the road from America Top Team. But this guy, James Lynch, he does more. Yeah, he gets more interviews with more people than MMA Fortune Teller. Anyway, James Lynch is taking Jordan Espinosa by decision. I think he did mention that, and all his interviews are on his channel. So if you hit the link in my description to this, where he gives his breakdown of this full card, through there, you can go and look up his interviews with, I think he did both the girls, he did one of these guys, I want to say he did both these guys, and he did, I think he did Journey Newson. But anyway, we're on this. So, James Lynch is taking Jordan Espinosa. Now, taking David Dvorak, another guy that does interviews, and this guy's great. It's Clint from diehardmma.com. But he also works, his sponsor is, I don't know how it works, but he's getting paid somehow from odds.com, odds HQ. I think they're I don't know really how that works. I know because they employ a few different cappers that I know work under the name odds.com or oddshq. Clint at diehardmma.com, he happens to be one of them. And he also, I guess he got close to having an interview with Michael Bisping, but didn't pan out. But yeah, Clint gets interviews too, but not even, he doesn't touch as many as James Lynch. James Lynch, by far, has more interviews than all those dudes. Okay? Anyway, Clint is taking David Dvorak. Then my buddy Vlad from UFC, I'll write the whole thing on the first board. UFC Celebrities and Classics. From now on, I'm just going to write him as CNC, Celebrities and Classics. His name is Vlad. He's Bulgarian, but he lives in Serbia. I do like to watch the live fights with Vlad because there's not when he does his watch along, there's maybe at most 24 people in there. So he actually takes time and chats with each and every one of them. But if you go to like one of the Odds HQ where they got a panel of 5 guys, you can't get word in edgewise. So that's why I'd rather watch him with Vlad. Also, you can watch your fights. Well, there's a bunch of watch-alongs, but I'm saying out of my cappers, the guys on this board, the only guy you can watch fights with, well, you can watch him with Odds HQ, but it's not going to be Clint. It's going to be like Mo Screams, Boston, something, another MMA prediction guru. He's on there. I don't know, they usually get like four or 5 different guys. You can watch it. You can go through Mr. Arkansas and watch it with like Brandon K. That there's a whole clique of guys that they all work like I don't know if you want to say work together, but they have little community, and Odds HQ seems to sponsor a bunch of them. Not all of them, but a bunch of them. And they do have watch-alongs and stuff. All these, check out these handicappers and their channels, and you can see like even when I get to the main card, that's when all those guys have watch-alongs, pretty much all of them. But of these fights here, I think the only watch-alongs you can get are with UFC Celebs and Classic. Last week he did Bellator. His Serbia didn't play the UFC Vegas 10, so he watched Bellator. But whatever. Vlad does a lot of crap. He does boxing, he does cryotherapy videos, and like he'll do like training, defense, and he's like a black belt in Taekwondo. But anyway, check him out. Clint, Vlad, and finally to wrap it up, also taking David Dvorak is eBay's fight predictions. That dude, he's good. eBay is saying by decision for Dvorak. Also going to the limit. So there you have the information. These are the 5 handicappers I'm going to be using for this show. Like I said, there will be links in my description taking you to their channels. Where's my pink marker? I guess I'll use orange. Okay, in this is a tough one for me, but I have to lean with David Dvorak. Me being the, watching from the side. I don't have time to. I follow the cappers, not so much the fighters. I mean, I don't have time to watch all their past fights and all that stuff, and so that's why I do this. I'm taking the majority, three cappers to 2 are taking David Dvorak, so am I. I think I'm gonna have to go with by decision. That's how it's looking. So, I mean, I'm not super confident, but I am confident he's gonna win. I just don't know about decision. but that's probably the safest bet. Okay, so that will, I'm taking that over. Ugh, that minus 260, that's gross. But if you call it by decision, because he's at minus 105, it may bump up to a plus number if you call it by decision. Okay, so there you have that. Moving on. Next we have in bantamweight, Newson taking on Randy Costa. Newson comes into this with a record of 9 wins, 2 losses as a professional fighter. He's the favorite here at minus 140. Randy Costa comes in with a record of 5 wins, 1 loss as a professional fighter. He's the underdog at plus 120. Okay, let's take a look. Now, Newson, guess is it him? He has a no contest, something about marijuana use, which I don't get, because aren't there fighters that publicly smoke in front of everybody, like Nate Diaz and, rainbow colored hair that just lost to Marlon Vera? Aren't those guys proud to be smokers and stuff? So I don't know how you get a no contest for marijuana. If anyone could tell me, fill it in the comments. Like I said, I am a fan of UFC and fighting, but I don't have time to dive deep into all these fighters' histories and all that. Going by what I learned from watching all you handicappers. So, what's going on with that? Newson, do I have the right guy? I think so. Yeah, it's something about he had a no contest for marijuana use. I don't know. Help me out with that. Anyway, taking Newson, we have Clint from Die Hard MMA, odds.com, whatever. He's taking Newson. And also eBay's fight prediction. Now, eBay's is saying Newsom second round KO. Okay. Now taking Randy Costa, we've got Vlad from CNC, from Celebs and Classics. He's saying a stoppage. He doesn't know if it's submission or knockout, but I'm just going to write within distance, because that's pretty much what he's saying in his broken English. Okay, MMA Guru, Nick Cat Buddy, he is taking Randy Costa by first round KO. Hey, that's a ballsy prediction. And finally, the professional James Lynch, which I find this is great. James Lynch did not interview Randy Costa. He interviewed Newson. Yet he's still taking Costa by decision. That's when because a lot of these guys, I'm not making a blanket statement, but a lot of guys, when they interview only one fighter, not the other, they 9 times out of 10 pick that fighter. James Lynch is not that guy. Because he interviews so many people, he has no real bias. But I noticed Fortune Teller, Vlad, you too, you guys interview these guys. Oh, he's a nice guy. Well, that doesn't mean he's a good fighter. Yeah, he might be the greatest guy in the world, but doesn't mean he can fight, and doesn't mean he's gonna win. That's why I like James Lynch. He comes honest with it. Interviewed Newson, but still choosing Randy Costa. Okay, so there you have the picks from the cappers. What we got here? This is a tough one, but I'm also going with Randy Costa. He's got the plus money. He's got plus 120. And from what I've listened to from all these guys, yeah, I think he's the better fighter. But Newson, he is, without a doubt, a good fighter. He's a beast. And even the guys that took Randy Costa did say, don't sleep on Newson. Newson is a beast. And a lot of them said it's going to be a tough decision. But I'm with the majority of, when in doubt, go with the majority vote, right? So I'm taking Randy Costa to beat Darren Newson. And I think it's going to also happen within distance. I just could put WD, within distance. All right, moving on. Now we're getting into the main card. Those are the only 2 prelim fights I did. If I have time, I don't know, we have football coming. I probably won't have time, but if I have time, I might do another prelim show. I do already have a main card show loaded. I still have to get some predictions and picks from a lot of main card handicappers, but I watched all these guys. I know what they picked for main card, but I want to use a whole different batch of handicappers for the main card. However, if I do have time, because there's so many fights and this is such a good card, this could be pay-per-view. That's how good this card is. But there's so many other good fights on the prelim card that I may do a 3rd show, which is unprecedented. And who knows, maybe I'll throw in some of these cappers, maybe I'll throw in some of the main card cappers, maybe I'll combine them all. I really can't. I only got room for 5. So I have room for like 6 or 8 if I write small enough. But let's see how much space I take for one capper. If they do a full capper consensus, I can't fit more than 6. So that's kind of like my limit, is at like 6 for a full capper consensus. You know what I mean? That's how many names I could fit on one side of the board. Anyway, moving on. To start off the main card, open the main card, we have Kevin Holland coming in with a record of 18-5. Heavy favorite at -250. Taking on Darren, the dentist, Stewart, the dentist. In England too. Aren't their teeth little? Whatever. Darren Stewart comes in with professional record of 12 wins and 5 losses. He's the underdog at +210. Let's see what these handicappers have to say. Okay, this is a middleweight fight. Taking Kevin Holland, we've got Clint from Die Hard. He's the first one I watched. I watched his live show on Monday, which is great. Monday, it was during Monday Night Football, so I had football on, but kind of in the background. But my attention was on Clint. Great, he's great. Clint at Die Hard. He's great because he throws up the stats, and he's definitely a gambler. He's a degenerate just like me. So I think he pretty much parlays and bets every fight on the card some way or another. But that's not true. That's not true, because I did come across fights throughout the card that he said he is passing on. For example, he's passing on, and this is a reason why I didn't show these guys I didn't pick these fights for the prelim show, because look, I'm going to show you a little bit of a cheat sheet. Okay, I print out and see all the scribble. That's all my notes that of all the people that I watch for. This is just the prelims. See all that jargon. Anyway, look, Clint passed on Mirsad Bektik versus Garagori, Luis Eduardo Garagori, and he passed on Mayra Bueno Silva versus Mara Romelo Borello. Yeah, that's a mouthful. But he said those two were too close. Those 2 fights were too close. So Clint passed. He talked about bankroll management, which is key. In every sport that you're gambling, you must keep in mind bankroll management. You don't want to throw away money on just to throw away money. You want to manage your bank. Then you want to pay little bets, little parlays, because then if you do lose, you're not getting destroyed. It's a whole method of I could put out a half-hour video on bankroll management, but we don't have time. I have to go to work. So, also taking Kevin Holland. Sorry about that. We have the professional suit and tie guy, James Lynch. He's saying Kevin Holland by decision, and not sure if he did interview both these guys. I want to say he interviewed one of the two. I'm not sure which one. I don't know. He's, like I say, he's got so many interviews with so many fighters. He's got a whole video playlist full of them. MMA Guru is taking Holland by submission. That's a good call. He might have said the round two, but I was driving when I listened to him, so I have to go by memory. I couldn't really write it down. And eBay's Fight Predictions is taking Kevin Holland by decision. He's a wrestler, he's a grappler, I can tell, because all these fights he talks about their wrestling attributes, like, oh, he's got a mean double leg, or oh, he's got a lazy, sloppy single leg takedown. All his references, I noticed he does mention the clinch, but I can tell, eBay's Fight Predictions, I can tell you were or are presently, I think you were a wrestler when you were in high school. But anyway, so was I. Anyway, eBay's is taking Kevin Holland by decision. Finally, the only person taking Darren Stewart is Vlad from UFC Celebs and Classics. And this is the one, because let me tell you, know how I put links in the description? Like, for example, eBay's, he does the full card. MMA Guru, he does the full card. James Lynch, full card. Clint, live show. So I'm going to put links for these guys, full card. Vlad does not do full card. He does separate. Same with Fight Night Picks, UFC Gambling Addicts. Some of them do, instead of doing full card with time checks, they'll do individual fight breakdown videos, which is fine. Who else does it? Community MMA, that guy, Chris Cross, he does individual, which is kind of a pain, but not really, because you can just Google search Kevin Holland versus Stewart, and then I'm a subscriber to Vlad, so his comes up in the first page, and there it is. So this is the one this is the fight I'm gonna put in the description for UFC Celebrities and Classics. I'm not gonna put every single fight in the description. I just pick one, and it's usually the main. But this, I think, is the best fight on this board. Not knocking MacKenzie, Dern, Randa, Markos, but anyway. So the majority of the cappers are going with Kevin Holland. I too am taking Kevin Holland, and I think it's going to be within distance, only because it'll juice it up. I mean, yeah. Like everybody's assuming it's going to be, the over is at -180, over 2.5 rounds, which means pretty much decision, is at -185, under is at +155. I'm taking Kevin Holland within distance. I'm sure that'll bring that -250 on Kevin Holland up to a, within distance, probably a +140, something like that. I have no idea. I really don't, but I think it's going to be a plus number. So there's that. Finally, the second fight of the main card, the last fight on this show, we've got strawweight. We have MacKenzie Dern, record of 8 wins, 1 loss as a professional fighter, taking on the veteran in Randa Markos. Now it says, I printed out, it says 10 wins, 9 losses, 1 draw. However, 3 of these 4 cappers, when they're reading the records, they kept saying 10 and 8. So I'm gonna, because I listened to the cappers, I'm gonna go with that, 10 and 8. That sounds better anyway than 10 and 9 and 1. Okay, so we've got MacKenzie Dern. MacKenzie Dern is the big favorite because she's only got 1 loss. As you know, and she's at minus 163. Markos, the underdog, at plus 143. Over under set 2.5 rounds. I think it's going to go, the distance is minus 112. I think it's going to fall short, minus 118. That's kind of a coin flip on that. So, taking MacKenzie Dern. We've got Clint. Then we have MMA Guru is saying by submission. These guys are saying MacKenzie Dern is a BJJ black belt. That's her strong suit, is her Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Randa Markos, however, these guys were giving her props. Randa Markos has beaten some top-notch fighters. However, those 8 losses are just clouding over the victories that she's had. UFC Celebrities and Classics, also taking MacKenzie Dern. eBay's is saying Dern by decision. And finally, James Lynch is saying MacKenzie Dern by second round submission. Another guy saying by submission. That's a full capper consensus. This is the dance that me and my daughter do. She's still sleeping. It's early. I have to go to work. Pow. Be pow. I stole that dance from Pearls of Wisdom, Pearl of Wisdom. He throws out pearls when he does his, so that's what I'm doing. He's a hockey handicapper. But lately he's also been doing tennis and baseball. So check out B-Pow Picks. If you're into hockey, tennis, or baseball, he's got picks every day on that crap. All right, so full capper consensus on MacKenzie Dern. I am joining the capper consensus. I'm not going against them this time. I'm going with the cappers. I'm taking MacKenzie Dern, and I'm going to take her by submission, because that's, 2 of these guys are saying by submission. Only eBay is saying by decision, but it is a girl fight, so that's always the thing. But some guys, as they picked MacKenzie Dern, like CNC, he's like, I give little edge to MacKenzie Dern. Randa Markos, if it comes stand up and punching, she's got the favor. That's his exact words, I think. But anyway, there you have it. So to recap, time check. I've got David Dvorak beating Jordan Espinosa by decision. Then I have Randy Costa beating Journey Newson within distance. Then I have Kevin Holland with the majority of the cappers beating Darren the Dentist Stewart. I got Kevin Holland winning within distance. And finally, I have MacKenzie Dern by submission beating Randa Markos. So you can tail me, you can fade me, you can gather your information. Gather the info. Yeah, gather the info. Place those bets. Use your head. And cash those tickets. That's the program. That's how you do it. 3 steps. Info, place the bets, cash the tickets. So you gather the info. The info is the key. That's the key. You have to have the risk. You have to have the balls to place the bets. And then the fun part, cashing the winning tickets. So there you have it. Be sure to give a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, definitely do that. The bell, hit the bell. After work today, I'm going to make the main card video. And then also we have tomorrow's Thursday, we have football. I don't know if I'm going to include that. I might just do Sunday 4 1 o'clock games, then 4 o'clock games, afternoon games. But last week I incorporated Thursday on the 1 o'clock games, and I incorporated Monday. No, Monday I did a separate on my own. I don't know. But anyway, hit the bell because I got all sorts of videos coming. Besides this, I still have I didn't drop Korean soccer, nor did I drop Belarusian soccer. I'm still going to try to keep pace with them. Unfortunately, I had to drop off Nicaraguan soccer. It's not a fault of mine. I would blame Bovada and Bet Online for having their odds out way too late for me to do my research. Oh, by the way, 5 dimes as of September 21st are not going to be playable for U.S. American gamblers, customers. So cash out of 5 dimes if you have any money in there. They are going to reboot and merge with somebody else and come back. So eventually 5 dimes will be something else and you can bet it again. But as of right now, spend that balance that you have in 5 dimes or cash it out. Okay? So good luck with these bets. Parlay them, individual bet them. It'll be a good time. And I'll see you next episode. Thanks for watching.